Now, the police this morning is on a manhunt for rival Boko chief Nasedu Abagri Kuluga II after government gave a directive for his arrest. Now, government in a statement described him as illegal and a threat to national security. The retired educationist was installed yesterday as the new chief of the Boko traditional area. The new chief, Nasedu Abagri Kuluga II, installation at Nalerigu was conducted amidst a heavy security presence, an attempt by the Regional Security Council to stop it from taking place. Here is a recap of the installation process captured by Elias Sutanko.
The installation was done Thursday morning by the king of the Mamprugu traditional area, of which Boko is said to be part, now Bohago Abdullahi Mahamud Sheriga, together with his royal court members. It started with the arrival of the families and sympathizers of the 4 Mamprugu Gate in Boko. Soon, scores of people in around Nalerigu began to gather at the palace to witness the historic enscarment of a Boko Naba by a Mamprugu overlord after nearly 40 years. However, while the processes were ongoing, members of the Northeast Regional Security Council, led by the Regional Minister Yidana Zakari, arrived at the palace in the company of heavily armed security forces. The presence of the Regional Minister briefly halted the process as the crowd erupted in opposition against his presence and demanded that he leave the place. After a brief opposition from the crowd, Mr. Yidana, following the intervention of the palace elders, was allowed to engage the overlord in a short private conversation. Whilst on his way out after the meeting with the overlord, the crowd began to hoot at him and his delegation. A palace elder later told JoyNews that the minister had come to accompany the overlord to Accra upon the invitation of President Nana Akufo-Addo. The elder added that the overlord turned down the invitation and told the minister it was too late to stop the enscarment. The enscarment processes then resumed and soon ended with the announcement of Nasedu Abagari with a chieftaincy titled Na Akuluga II as the new chief of the Boko Paramount Scheme. Speaking to JoyNews, some of the residents believe this enscarment will ensure the return of peace in Boko.
The ban has never solved any problem. Bans have killed many people. We have seen many deaths. We have seen many naming. We have seen many properties and lives destroyed. It has to stop. The youth, I am a young man and I feel very bad. Every time I see pictures of Musasi youth being killed, as somebody who is a parent, I feel very much aggrieved. I am not happy.
There is nothing like a Supreme Court ruling. So indeed, what the Nigeria has done today is the best thing to do. Indeed, this is a stepping stone to a resolution of the conflict or crisis in Boko. I would want to entreat politicians to respect the chieftaincy institution. So the government should rather pay attention or concentrate on how to ensure that lives and property are not lost there. But as for taking the chief home, in fact, the chief will soon be home. There is nobody on earth that will be able to stop the legitimate Boko Naba from getting to Boko.
I expect everything to return to normal as usual. We've had it before during the era of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president. He created this thing in the first place. But after the overthrow of Nkrumah in 1966, the then Nayiri, the 30th king of Mampuru, na Bongo Adam Badimso, and skin na Tampura Adam Zanjo as the 14th Boko Naba. And you can go and check the history. Boko returned to normalcy. Everything was moving on smoothly until the demise of the 14th Boko Naba, na Tampura Adam Zanjo, before we had what we were having. So we are optimistic that everything will return to normalcy after this experience.
So everybody in Mampuru, Upper East, in Northeast, we are happy to see such a thing. For Nayiri to skin Boko Naba, because all that place is for Gapiawa.
The new chief is a popular retired educationist whose grandfather was the 12th Boko Naba. He was unanimously approved by the crowd as they burst into loud cheers amidst drumming and dancing. The new chief, Na Akuluga II, called for an end to all hostilities in Boko.
Finally, the Boko program that has existed for almost half a century.
Elias Sutanko reporting from Nalerigu for JoyNews.
Now, the installation of the rival chief has, however, been condemned by a bipartisan group of MPs from the Upper East region, led by Zebula MP Kletos Avoka.
We are pleasantly happy that they have issued a statement condemning the act, but that's not enough. It is not enough to condemn the act. It should go further than that and make sure that the fellow doesn't act as a chief. That is important. Not words alone, but action. Yes, we are pleasantly happy that they have issued a statement condemning the act, but that's not enough. It is not enough to condemn the act. It should go further than that and make sure that the fellow doesn't act as a chief. That is important. Not words alone, but action by government. There cannot be a rival chief in Boku. There is one chief recognized by law, and that should be respected by everybody under this constitutional dispensation. So government should not just say that we condemn it, but make sure it doesn't work. No rival chief exists in Boku. That cannot be tolerated. I'm very much surprised that this incident could not be nipped in the bud, that it could have been prevented. You all know that prevention is better than cure. I think that they have enough intelligence on the ground to have to have informed government to avert this development. It is unfortunate that it wasn't averted, but we are still confident that the government of the day will make sure that there is no rival chief in Boku.
Now, security analyst Adam Bona says the move by government to ensure that a rival chief is apprehended is a crucial move, but urged government to nip the Boku situation in the bud.
Going by what government has said, I'm expecting them to take some remedial actions, ensure that the bloodshed that the guys in Boku and the surrounding areas have threatened never takes place. If the chief, whoever has been ensconced, if they find him and they have to pick him up, they should do that. If that is what is going to bring peace in Boku, I mean, I am all for it, because at the end of the day, we cannot actually watch on whilst Boku deteriorates.
Another security analyst, retired Colonel Festus Abuaji, says the country should expect more violence in Boku following the enskinment of Boku chief by the Mamprusi. Speaking on the AM show, the retired military personnel said the state cannot claim ignorance of the enskinment that took place yesterday at Nalerigu, with all the apparatus of intelligence at their disposal.
You saw, I'm still looking at the pictures, all of us are looking at the pictures. The princes and the royals and the general public who have assembled or who had assembled at Nalerigu were invited. So definitely there were conversations about this event which took place yesterday. If the government did not have its ears on the ground, as we say literally in Akan, that is an intelligence failure. You could, which I don't want to do, you could also, use conspiracy theory to suggest that the government just pretended to, that it was doing something without necessarily being committed to that. It cannot be that the state of Ghana didn't know that this enskinment, especially when you couple that with the status of the conflict in Boku. So that was not enough. Now, how the same government now is going to swiftly and in accordance with the law, reverse this situation is going to be very, very difficult. We should expect more violence, because the youth who have spoken, the youth that you are seeing, the Mamprusi youth, are bent on ensuring that this newly enskinned Naba, stays on the skin. I imagine the day when he arrives in Boku, whether in Boku East or Boku West or wherever he is in Boku, this conflict is going to get messier.
Now, Member of Parliament for Boku Central, Mahama Yariga, says government must back words with action and correct what is a complete illegality.
I think age would tell on a person at such an advanced age, and he could be easily subject to the manipulation of his elders and people at his palace, and he is easily susceptible to pressure.
Is that what you think happened? Is that what you think happened? Is that what you think happened?
Well, I'm just saying that could easily have happened. But then whatever happened is clearly illegal, even by the government's own statement that it is illegal. I've consistently said that It won't be legal to do anything like that. And also, it will practically be impossible to enforce. And the government statement is clear about the matter. What I will say for now is that the government must back its words with action. I mean, the statement that government does not recognize what happened as legal. The regional and national houses of chiefs definitely will not recognize what happened. The Supreme Court already has indicated that this matter should not be brought to it. So it is reduced to a simple question of law enforcement, and the president has directed that those who perpetrated the act, the police should go after them and arrest them. And so everybody is just watching to see whether the government is true to its words and whether law enforcement will take the appropriate action. Like
just a quick.
So let's now take you to the Computerized Selection and Placement Center at the Nat Hall, where some 165,601 prospective SHS students are to do self-placement into their choice of schools. Now, at a news conference held by the Ghana Education Service yesterday, Director General of the GES, Dr. Eric Nkansa, indicated that only 372,780 students have been automatically placed by the computerized selection system. The rest, however, would have to go to the placement center starting this morning to do self-placement.
The service took delivery of the results data and began preparing for the placement. Out of the 547,329 registered candidates, 538,399 candidates qualified to be placed. So far, a total of 372,780, representing 69.24% of the qualified students, have been automatically placed in at least one of their choices. However, 165,601 candidates, representing 30.76%, could not be matched with any of their choices. All such students are therefore to do self-placement to select from the available schools. Per the calendar for 2023, the academic calendar for 2023, the first-year students are to report to school on February 20, 2023. So from next week, February 20, students can report to schools for registration and possible orientation for academic work to commence on February 27.
So let's now cross over to James Aveji, who is at the center for the latest on what's happening there. James, what can you report?
Okay. Is it okay now?
So James, if you can hear me, I'm trying to find out from you what you can tell us about what's happening at where you are.
This morning we are at the Nat Hall here in Accra, where the school's replacement system is ongoing. Yesterday, the Ghana Education Service had released the placement system where some over 300,000 students or pupils have got placement to different secondary schools across the country. But some over 160,000, we are told, are to do their self-placement. And so we are here this morning. If you can see at the background, hundreds of children or pupils as well as their parents are here to do different placement. I'll be getting in touch with one of the officials to tell us exactly what placement they are doing, because I'm told in my initial interaction with some of the parents, they tell me that some of their wards did not get the schools that they had wanted them to get. For instance, they wanted an A school list for them, but they were given a category B, C, or a D school. And so we'll be interacting with some of them, but that's the situation here. So what is happening is that they are placing them in secondary schools, they are placing them in the TVET schools, as well as a new school section of schools they call the STEM schools. So those are the three categories we are told they are doing the placement into, both secondary schools, TVET, as well as the STEM schools. Let me join the deputy director of the Free SHS, the deputy coordinator of the Free SHS, Nana Afra Sikam Mensah. She's here to give us some more details. Nana, good morning.
Good morning.
You are so busy this morning.
Yes. You know, the results, the placement results came out yesterday, and the parents checked, and then most of them, as usual, don't like their schools and other stuff. So that is why we've seen a lot of people here this morning.
So what's the distinction? Are you doing new placement for some of the over 160,000 that need to do their own placement, or you are doing replacements, or you are doing both?
We are doing both. Yes.
Okay. So what are the different schools you are doing the placement into?
Oh, we are doing it for the category B and then the category C schools. You know, those schools are a bit empty, so we need to fill up those empty spaces in those schools. So that is what we are doing here this morning.
So if a parent comes here that they want a placement to the category A schools, they may not be able to do that?
Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
Okay, now we are hearing of STEM schools. Is that a new introduction into the system, and why didn't you place students there from the instance, or they are also finding themselves in the same trouble?
No, we have students in the STEM schools, but you know, it's a new schools and it's a new school that are coming on board, so we want to increase enrollment in those schools. That is why we are doing a lot of education on the STEM schools. When you go to Pasimpe, we have a lot of facilities in those schools, but the number is less, so we need to increase enrollment in those schools. That is why we are preaching, or we are educating parents on the STEM schools here.
Why is the system unable to play over 160,000 students in the various schools?
You know, some choose those schools as their first, second choice. You know how the system is being operated. You do the first run, we go, you don't get it, we come to your second choice, you don't get it, third choice, you know, that up to your last choice. So if you don't get it at all, then we give you the opportunity to do self-placement. So most of the parents don't want to do the self-placement. That is why you see them, that they are here for us to help them place their wards for them.
In my interaction with some of the parents, they tell me that even some of the schools that are available here that you are doing the placement to were part of the ones their wards included in their selection, but they still could not get placement to any of those.
Don't worry. Once they are here with their issue, we make sure that we fix it for them.
How many parents or wards do you expect to see to, and how long is this going to last?
Oh, basically we are looking at 6 weeks. To make sure that we resolve all their issues for them. So we spend 6 weeks here.
Okay. So that is Nana Afra Sikam Mensah. She is the deputy coordinator for the Free SHS Interactive. Let's speak to some of the Okay, let's speak to some of the parents. But before that, I'll get back to pick Nana's thoughts on one key issue. How are you dealing with persons who may be posting themselves around as to offer schools for people for payment?
Yeah, all the exercise we are doing here is basically free. We are not supposed to pay anything. That is why this year we have tax here, just to signify those who are staff and you are working. So when we see those in tax, they are the people you have to submit your issues to. If anybody meets you outside and tell you that you have to pay something, You shouldn't pay anything to the person. Come to the nurse or don't talk to any security man, any cleaner at the gate, but just come to the Bediakon Hall Street. We have staff here, well trained, and then they will address all their issues for you.
For parents and wards who are unable to come here this morning, how do you have offices around, and how do they do the self-placement themselves?
Yeah, we have call center numbers out there. So if you think you can't come here, I've forgotten the number. I'll get the number for you before you leave. So you call the number and then you send your issues to them. They will resolve it for you immediately. If not immediately, after your issues is being resolved, we'll call you and tell you that your issue have.
Apart from the Nat Hall?
Yeah, we have a call center number out there that they are working on issues as well.
Okay, so thank you, Nana, for your time with us. And so I will come back for that. Let's interact with some of the parents here to know exactly what their problems are. There's a parent here. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What brought you here this morning?
I'm here actually to change the school for my daughter. Yeah. My name is Meshak Minta.
What school did she get, and what school do you want to place her in now?
She had Suhum Presby High School, and I want her to get her second choice, Ghana National, since I think that perhaps the Holy Child by now is to be a hot cake now. So I want her to opt for a second choice, Ghana National.
Meaning Holy Child was her first choice?
Holy Child.
What course was she given?
General Science. General Science. She actually chose all the general science she was given, but she was given Suhum Presby High, which I think that with aggregate 9, she deserves something better than the C school.
Why don't you want your ward to go to Suhum?
Oh, there's a grading system. We know that from 6 to 9, you get your first class school or A school. Then from the 10 to I think about 16 or so, you have your grade B school. That is what has been given to her. So if my child has gotten 9, she deserves to have the A school. I mean, it's also good for you to have your child in the A school to compete with people of that class. And so, yeah.
So that is a parent whose ward was given her fourth choice, which is Suhum. He thinks that she deserves better with an aggregate 9, and so he's here to make sure that she gets a school he says would be better than the Suhum Senior School. I don't know if Daddy, good morning, and tell us why you are here this morning.
I'm here because of the school selection of my daughter. You know.
What school did your ward get, and what school are you willing to place?
She gets Mount Sinai at Mountains. So I'm trying to change to her to another school called Methodist over there at Mountains too. So that is why I'm here this morning for the replacement, because the one they choose for her, it was not good for her. You know, so that is it.
What aggregate did he or she get?
She get 20.
20.
At least they're supposed to put her in a nice one, not to put in the one that is not good. So that's why I'm here to walk around it to see how they can replace her to the better place she can study.
Offer what course?
Economics, domestic management.
Okay, home economics.
Home economics, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So that's another parent. His ward had an aggregate 20, and he feels that the school she was given wasn't good for her, and so to be placed. Bobby, good morning.
Good morning.
What school was your ward placed, and what school are you replacing to?
Well, my ward was placed in a STEM school. Meanwhile, the grade was 8. And so I'm here for correction.
STEM is practically science, technology, and the rest. What course do you want her to go and pursue in another school?
She wants to do pure science and not STEM. Yes.
So what school do you want her to go now?
We have selected 6 schools, and the grade falls within the category of the first, second. She had 8. She had grade 8. Yes, a single grade, and so that is why I'm here for the correction.
So now, do you have any particular school you want them to place her in?
We have already selected the schools. The schools are on the forms, so I believe when I get to the table, they will do the needful. Yeah.
She wasn't given her first, second, or third choice?
She wasn't given the first, second, nor the third. Yes.
Let me try and speak to some of the students. You are a student, right?
Yes, please. It's just that the one who chose the school for me, she did a mistake, so I'm here to correct it.
What was the mistake?
He chose a pure technical for me. For me too, I did like secondary technical, so I'm here to correct it.
So you want to go to a pure secondary or pure technical school?
Pure secondary. Yes.
Offer which course?
Clothing, home econs, clothing.
Any particular school you want to change to?
I want to change to Mando Senior High School. Yes, please.
What's your grade?
I had 32. Yes.
All right. So that's another student. She feels that she needed to change. She was given a secondary technical school, which she wants to go to a pure secondary school to do clothing. That's what she's saying. That although she had 32, she would want to go to a pure secondary school. Let me try and speak to these people as well. You are people, right?
Yeah.
What's your problem?
I didn't have a school. I graduated but I didn't have a school.
You didn't what?
I didn't have a school.
At all?
Yeah.
You were not placed in any school?
No.
Okay. So now you want to be placed in a school. Any particular school you would want to go?
Yeah.
What school?
Maybe Kibi Senior High or New Joab Senior High Technical. General Arts. Yes.
What's your grade?
31.
31?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it the same situation with you?
Yes.
Okay. So you two, you didn't get any school at all?
Yes.
I see. So you would, are you two going to the same school?
Yes, no.
Okay. So what school are you going?
I want an order.
Okay. What's the grade?
35.
All right. So those are some of the students wanting to go into. So those two I have just spoken to do not have any school. They were not placed in any school, and so they have come here to get placed in a school or the other to start their education. Remember that they are supposed to report to school on the 20th, which is Monday, to start with their registration process according to the new calendar released by the Ghana Education Service. Registration starts on the 20th. Now, I was told that the call center number is also available for those who cannot reach. We are told earlier that there is a dedicated call center that will see to the needs of persons who have not been placed and people who would want a replacement. I'll be mentioning that number before we leave. There's a parent here. I would want to take his view on what brought him here. What's your name, sir?
Amozo Ben.
Okay. So, what's the problem with, what's your problem?
My problem is like my children go school, but the first, they take for school where there's your first choice, second choice, third choice, and fourth choice. But now the government changed the different camp for inside. So he say the school people will take 6 school where my doctor taking only one self cannot come. So it worry me because.
What grade did your daughter get?
32.
32.
Yeah.
So what school do you want her to go now?
No, it be day way it take it. Me, I don't like body because body school still not have money. It worry you. Your doctor go make basa. Same money not in your pocket. It go worry. So I talk to you say make take day. But all me say day no. Say I chop gari, you need to go chop gari. So I beg the big man or president say make you do the proper way for us.
Yeah. I wish you all the best that your daughter will get a day school. So his daughter was given a boarding school, and he said that he doesn't like the boarding school, and so he wants the daughter to be placed in a day school. Varied problems here from all the different parents and the students. Some people got a school that they did not like. Some people had courses that they did not like, and so that is so. The call center, we are told, is also available for parents and wards who cannot make it to the Nat Hall this morning to call and get their problems faced. I saw an official from the TVET who would want to also interact with us on the placement. Just a quick run. There are 3 placements going on, 2 categories of issues being solved. One, which is self-placement for wards who did not get any placement, those who are amongst the over 160,000 that were not given any placement to any school, are trooping here to get themselves placed in a school, and those who were given a school but do not prefer that school are also coming here to get their problems resolved. The other category of persons are students who are given courses in certain schools that they do not like, also have the liberty to get their issues resolved here. And so the 3 categories of schools that they are doing the placement to are the pure secondary schools, the pure technical school, the secondary technical schools, as well as the new STEM schools. And so, Brace, that is the situation here at the Nat Hall in Accra. The warning is that if you come, you get persons who are in tags, identify themselves in the allocated tags, and speak to them to resolve your issues to you. Do not deal with any middleman. If you do that, it is at your own risk. We are told that there are security officials here who are arresting such persons. If such persons are arrested, you, the parent, and your ward would also be taken on in such situations. And so that's a current situation here. It is going to last, an exercise that is going to last for at least 6 weeks until the entire problem is resolved.
Okay. All right, so that's my colleague James Aveji there. We'll be keeping tabs on that and we'll bring you more details in our subsequent bulletins. But for now, Member of Parliament for Yendi constituency, Farouk Aliyu Mahama, says only government, only 40% of his constituents have access to clean and potable water. The MP has been pressing the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Cecilia Abinadapa, to bring to reality a promise President Akufo-Addo made to the people of Yendi on their water situation. Farouk Aliyu Mahama says he is, however, not waiting for government. He's taking matters into his own hands and taking water and making water available to the people.
We've been having issues with these waters, but we have been privileged to have a President Akufo-Addo, who is a president who believes in action and an action-oriented president. The fact that he came to do the sword cutting and it hasn't started, that doesn't mean that the president has left it to bear. The president has made sure he stacks the minister, and today we are happy. You know, in procurement of such facilities, as a procurement expert who has the experience of a procurement specialization, I understand the modes of procurement that we use. And today the minister reiterated and gave us specifics on the EPC arrangement. And today we are happy that the minister has announced that we are going to have by February 12th, because procurement processes take a lot of processes. Having worked in Ghana Cocoa Board as a procurement head, I understand the challenges. So I wanted to talk to my people to bear in mind and have patience. Today the minister has given assurance that today we're going to have good news for the people of Yendi, and inshallah before the end of March we should be able to have a commencement, and I'm going to follow through, and that is how come today I follow through to ask questions. The people of Yendi having challenges of water, I put the cry of the people of Yendi and even the Yana as an
The MP, however, says the water project President Akufo-Addo promises people, which at the procurement stage, will do a lot to enhance the quality of life of its constituents when completed. So let's take you to Parliament now, where the members of the pensioner bondholder forum are picketing Parliament to drum home their demands for government to exempt them totally from the domestic debt exchange program. They have been picketing the Ministry of Finance for 8 days. The minister yesterday promised that he would meet the president and then come back to them on the way forward. But the members are today picketing Parliament to drum home that particular demand that they want the government to explicitly exempt them from the program. Let's go there now, where Kweku Asante is standing by. Kweku, if you can hear me, what's happening there?
So, Brace, the Pensioner Bondholder Forum, as you can see here, are in the Chamber of Parliament. Any moment from now, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta will be expected to come here to provide some updates to MPs on the domestic debt exchange program. It's been a sticking point for them, and for some time now, they have been making a lot of noise about asking government to exempt them. Today, they are taking their concerns here in Parliament. They are going to ask MPs to demand that the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, exempt them publicly when he addresses the members of Parliament about the progress that have been made so far on this. So I'll be speaking to Dr. Edouard Nani-Antwi shortly. He said, Doc, we are live on JoyNews. Why are you here today?
We are here to support the minister to grant us the exemption, to announce the exemption.
The minister has been insistent that that demand of yours may not be met now.
No, as at yesterday, we have told him we need the exemption before we leave the premises of the ministry. Otherwise, every day we will be there. And he has assured us that he was going to discuss with the president and make the appropriate announcement as part of the statement he's coming to give in Parliament this morning.
So you are expecting that this specific statement that the minister will be making will clearly announce an exemption for pensioners?
Yes, that is what we are saying. We are nothing apart from that.
Yesterday you met the minority leader and the Speaker of Parliament. Can you share if they are lending their support and they are saying they are going to demand that of the minister today?
Yes, we have their support. We have previously also spoken to the majority leader. He was the first we spoke with. That was 2 days ago. Then yesterday we were able to speak with the minority leader and the speaker himself. And every one of them is sympathetic to our plight and want us to succeed in this our demand.
So that is Dr. Edouard Nani-Antwi. He says that the reason why they are here today is that they expect the minister in this address to publicly announce that they are going to exempt them from the domestic debt exchange program. Let me speak to Madam. I've seen you on TV a number of occasions during this picketing at the ministry. You are here today in Parliament. What are your own expectations?
We are here to we are expecting the minister to grant us our request. We have said it several times. We just want to be sure that what we have told him is what he is coming to tell Parliament this morning. That is why we are here. He keeps changing goalposts. Today he says this, tomorrow is another thing. So we are here to find out what we requested is what he's coming to deliver. Thank you.
If he does not, what will be your line?
Still picket, a luta continua. We will still go on. We will still go on till our request is granted. Thank you.
So it says a luta continua. They are going to be on the neck of the finance minister until these specific demands that they have made of him are granted. One person that is also here today is Brigadier General Nunu Mensah. He is a former National Security Advisor, and we'll get to him and speak to him shortly. But let me speak to more of the pensioner bondholders who are here in the house today. What are your own expectations today, sir?
Well, I expect that when the minister delivers his statement, the House will support we the pensioners so that we are finally exempted.
If he does not do so, what will be your next line of action?
We'll keep protesting. Yes, we'll keep protesting so that the nation will also look at us and say that, especially for the young ones, that one day this is where we are going to get to. So let us support these older ones.
So the theme that runs through this picketing here in Parliament is that until the finance minister exempts them from the domestic debt exchange program, they are going to keep picketing. They are going to demand continuously that the finance minister exempts them. And until he does so, let me speak to Brigadier General Nuno Mensah. He's a former National Security Advisor, about some of these concerns. Brigadier, you are here. We hadn't seen so much of you, but you are here today. Why are you here?
I am here today because I'm an angry man. Angry not about myself. I'm okay. But when I see young men roaming the street without job, sitting in the sun, we are going around begging people. When we could help ourselves, we are doing nothing. We are a bunch of lazy people, and I mean it. So you dig our hands to pensioners' money that they have saved to look after themselves before they die. Government says I'm taking the money. It's wrong. That's why I'm here. Tell them it's wrong.
Do you think these things have security implications for the country, all this that is going on around the exchange program?
There's something we call self-defense. If you put your hand in my throat and I have to defend myself, I can also take a knife and kill you. When you put pressure that far, when you have young men roaming the street without jobs, one day they will rise. Unless you wake up and do something about the problem. And we can do it. We just need to sit up, put together people with brains to say, sit down, look for you can do it. You are too young. Achampo came to Parliament in 1972. He said, you track debt from IMF and World Bank. IMF said, we won't help you. Achampo did better than most governments since after Nkrumah. So I'm saying that I am here this morning because I'm not happy with the way the Ghana is being run. Not about myself. I'm okay. Wilma man, he gets kinky and pepper. It's okay. I don't have any problem with that. But I don't like to see young men roaming the street. I don't like to see pensioners. Look, there are about at least 25, 30 people that I give money to eat every week. Without me, they'll be dead. When government is digging their hand into my money, government in effect is killing those people because they're hungry. Yesterday, you can give a number and you can read the number just now. I like the young man there. Your uncle gave me money yesterday. How much? 2,000 cedis to buy food to eat a week. So when you take that money from you, what are you doing? You are killing those people there. Yes, so, you are killing, not me. You are killing them.
Right. So that is Brigadier General Nuno Mensah. So that is the lowdown here in Parliament, and the demand is that the finance minister exempts them. But we'll come back to Parliament, Brace, when you're ready, and we'll take proceedings live on the floor.
Now, he only tried to help his community access electricity, but that unfortunately landed him in a life-threatening condition. 35-year-old professional electrician James Obing fell and injured his spine after he climbed up a street light pole to fix it. Now he's paralyzed and urgently needs about 50,000 cedis for a total spine reconstruction surgery. Jesse Boafo paid him a visit and has more in the following report.
Have mercy on me and help me walk again. I am a very generous person. Please help me walk again.
35-year-old James Obing is a professional electrician who volunteered to fix the street lights at Dayasau in Central Region where he lives. He climbed up an 8-meter-long electrical pole to fix it, but while descending, his climbing harness belt stripped off and he fell and injured his spine.
I couldn't see anything about it. I just collapsed and they took him to hospital. They tried to ask me to raise up my legs and some things, but I couldn't do anything about that. The day I saw myself lying down like this, I couldn't do anything again, and I've been till this time.
According to James' father, Samuel Mensah, his outfit is incapable of funding his son's surgery.
We went to the pharmacies and they told us that the cost is from 50 to 60,000, and in fact, that one as a pensioner, in fact, I can't afford it. Or you be a oboa fee papa. The mama fraud to me no bomb de me. That's a mix now. In fact, they may pee back you.
A report issued by the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, RIDGE, Neurosurgery Department stated that James' lower limbs are completely paralyzed. Surgery needs to be conducted as early as possible, as the fractured bones are relentlessly putting pressure on his nerves, causing him to be in constant pain.
I'm having the pain at my back, meaning my spinal and my wrist from this place to this side, is not working anymore. But for the doctor's assurance, they are saying if I can afford the money that they are going to take from me, they will come bring me back.
James' mother, Ama Bodua, is hopeful that the generous viewers and listeners of Joy News and Joy FM will come through for them.
His father has tried all he can, but all efforts have fallen into futility. I have nowhere else to turn to. We are pleading with everyone to help my son walk again.
Even in agony, James makes very little of his ordeal, as doctors have assured him that there is hope for him to walk again. Jesse Sewabuafu's report, read to you.
Now, to support James Obeng, you can send your contributions to 0247 47 1210. 0247 47 1210. The name is Samuel Mensah. Kindly help, James to walk again. We'll take a break now. We'll bring you business. Stay with us.
Hello, good morning. Warm welcome to the business segment on Joy News Desk. With me, Pius Kojo Baka. MTN Ghana Foundation has reiterated its commitment towards the improvement in healthcare delivery in Ghana. According to the manager for sustainability and social impact, Rodalyn Mensah, the foundation will help in alleviating the high numbers of maternal mortality cases in the country. She spoke to Joy Business at the company's Save a Life blood donation campaign.
It's Valentine's Day, and as you all may be aware, MTN Ghana Foundation has its annual Save a Life campaign, which is a blood donation exercise that we do every Valentine's Day. We have been on break for the past 2 years due to the pandemic, and thankfully we are back and we are easing into it gradually. So today we are here for our staff, our customers, our trade partners and our suppliers to come here to donate blood, a unit of blood to save a life. Yes, so the MTN Ghana Foundation is a CSR arm of MTN, as we all know. So this Save a Life campaign is under the MTN Ghana Foundation.
And then, what is happening? I mentioned that we don't have the artists, but we have artists.
Now, over 2,000 women have benefited from the Power to the Fishes project executed by the Karath Development Organization. The project, which was funded by the European Union, was aimed at improving the economic conditions of fishers, particularly fishmongers in some coastal areas of the western and central regions. The following report has more.
Sponsored by the European Union, the Power to the Fishes project was developed to improve the skills of women in fishing business in areas such as business management, hygienic fish handling, processing of fish, as well as highlight appropriate fishing practices. Derek Adabi is manager for the Power to the Fishes project.
The Power to the Fishes project, which was funded by the European Union, is a fisheries management intervention that seeks to enhance the socio-economic livelihoods of coastal communities in Ghana. Under this project, we were able to engage in a multi-party advocacy to see to the end of illegal transshipment of fish bycatch. We've also facilitated technology adoption with regards to the Ahonto oven. We also built capacities on fish handling, business practices, and also environmental protection. And in addition to that, we've facilitated social protection coverage.
On her part, the head and team leader, Infrastructure and Sustainable Development at the European Union, Paulina Rosiska, said the aim of the EU is to encourage proper and legal fishing practices in Ghana.
With this project, EU is committed to fight the illegal fishing, and also I would like to commend the Ministry for Fisheries and Aquaculture for its recent directive to scrap possibility of dumping the bycatch and illegal transshipment, which is done now only limited only to 2 ports now under surveillance of the Fisheries Commission.
Talking about some areas that may be looked at in the future, the director in charge of West Africa, Serath Development Organization, Pa Kofi Osei Owusu, said his organization may go into other coastal areas to expand the project if it secures the required funding.
Absolutely. Of course, money is very important, and funding is key to this. And obviously, we are looking at, as I said, extending to the Volta region, the Greater Accra region, and even within the same Western and Central region that we're involved in. We didn't touch every place. We only touched 26 communities. That's quite a lot, but we touched 26 communities, and there's still more to be done in those places. So, dependent on our ability to secure funding as a non-profit entity, we will certainly scale up within and outside those target areas that we find ourselves.
And that's it for Business for Now. I am Pius Kojo.
And that's how we wrap up the bulletin for today. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. My name is Samuel Kojo. Do enjoy the rest of our bulletins. Good morning.